Lance Barber played two different characters in the Big Bang Theory universe, and young Sheldon made it so worthwhile. The Big Bang Theory franchise used Lance Barber in two separate roles, and it was worth it. Barber is best known as George S.R., Sheldon's well-meaning father, who didn't understand his genius son and longed for a boy he could pass his love of football on to. George's death in the young Sheldon penultimate episode was the catalyst for the events of the series wrap-up. While Lance Barber visited the set of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, there is no indication that he is playing a resurrected George or any other character in the newest show of the franchise. However, he appeared in The Big Bang Theory as a different character, Jimmy Speckerman, the grown-up version of the boy who had bullied Leonard mercilessly in high school. This role is very different from that of George S.R., and it is interesting to revisit Sheldon's interaction with Jimmy after seeing Barber play Sheldon's father for 7 years in the prequel. Why did Lance Barber play different characters in TBBT and Young Sheldon? Young Sheldon didn't exist at the time Jimmy Speckerman appeared in TBBT. There were not yet plans for Young Sheldon's creation when Lance Barber appeared in The Big Bang Theory Season 5, Episode 11, which aired in 2011, 6 years before Young Sheldon premiered. Barber was chosen for the role of Jimmy Speckerman because the producers thought he was the best actor for the role, and they were not thinking about who else he might play in its universe, especially since work for Young Sheldon was still far on the horizon. Although the producers didn't plan for Barber to play two different roles in the franchise, his guest appearance in The Big Bang Theory likely helped him to land the role of George Sr. Since he had already been involved in The Big Bang Theory franchise to a small degree, the producers were familiar with him and his work, which gave him an edge over other actors who were not as well known to the casting team. Lance Barber's George Sr. made any confusion more than justified. George Sr. was a beloved character whose death was heartbreaking. Lance Barber's role in The Big Bang Theory was relatively minor. He only appeared in one episode over half a decade before Young Sheldon premiered. Thus, by the time he was cast as George Sr., most of the audience was unlikely to remember that he had played Jimmy Speckerman in the nerd-centric sitcom. Furthermore, George S.R. was an integral part of Young Sheldon, and Barber made the role memorable. Thus, even if Barber was recognizable as having once guest starred on the original show in the Big Bang Theory franchise, his portrayal of George S.R. made it worth it. The series would not have been the same without Barber's portrayal of him, and he made George S.R. so lovable that his untimely death led to a heartbreaking series finale for Young Sheldon.